For over 2 years, Bob and I have been working together. And this week, we finally started talking about, we have had a conversation around working together. And so today, we are going to share our discoveries of the week and 2 years of working together and more on this episode of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
You scared me. Did I lose you?
You're a little frozen.
Oh, come on.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. You scared me at the beginning when you started talking about working together for 2 weeks. I don't know why, but I thought you were going to divorce me. And I wasn't prepared to deal with that today, I got to tell you. So I'm glad that's not your plan, or is it your plan?
No.
Okay.
I said
all right.
2 years, I'm pretty sure. Maybe
And you and I have worked together for a lot more than that. It's been closer to 10.
Correct, and we've done this show for 2 years, over 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
And can I have to just because.
Go ahead.
I hope this is all right. So for those of you who don't know, a little behind the scenes thing. In the program StreamYard that we use, we can see each other, whether we are actually in, live or kind of hidden while one of us does the intro. And then when the music plays, we are both in this like behind the scenes setting that it has. And I just happened to look down at the setting, and while the music was playing, you were practicing your little do-do-do-do. And I was like, that's interesting. And so I thought I would share with the group that it was something that you were working on to.
It wasn't practice as much as just waking myself up.
Okay.
I'm a little sluggish today, and I need a little do to get myself ready. I was humming along to the music. I was having, in my spare time, I want to put words to that. I just haven't done it yet.
Interesting.
I feel like there's a song to be written there.
That's the beginning. That's the melody, or that's the
yes. My Lin-Manuel Miranda wants to come out.
Awesome. Well, I guess I would say that if there's anybody who happens to watching this show or is inside our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, now you know Bob's looking for a writer to help him write some song. He's got a little bit. I have a feeling he can come up with the words some point. He might need some help with the musical side of it. I don't know.
Yes, that's it. That's
maybe
perfectly.
You could employ my daughter. She's pretty good with putting music together. So I don't know.
Okay, all right. Now keep that in mind.
Great. And I do say Peg is chiming in this morning, saying, "Good morning, guys. Happy Friday."
Friday. I like that. Yes, Peg. Well played. Yes. All right.
Thank you for sharing that on this Friday. Bob needed that to wake him up, as he was saying.
I did.
The more things like that, I think the better. So, all right, everyone, good morning and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily, weekday broadcast and podcast, where we share our thoughts and ideas around a topic that we have chosen for the week. This week's topic, I think as you probably know, was working together. And on Friday, every Friday, we share our discoveries of the week.
Yes, I love it.
Bob loves this show. I enjoy it as well. And as we go through our conversation and our discoveries, please feel free to share your discoveries of the week, whether it's around working together or something else, because we know that'll add value to our show. Whether you happen to be watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or
LinkedIn Live, baby! Friday, LinkedIn Live. Welcome.
Wow. I like that. Yes, LinkedIn Live. We welcome your thoughts and comments, and we know that it'll add value to our show and to those who happen to be watching the post or seeing what's going on. So please feel free to share that in the comments or You can also go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where all week we've been talking about it as well. And every Friday morning, we put up a post that allows you to share your discoveries of the week. Again, could be around our topic, or it could be on something else that you discovered. By sharing it, you will help others take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. So now, let's dive in. Working together, discovery.
Whoa. Hold the phones here, people. Come on, Tom. We've done this over 600 times. What are you missing?
Missing what we do every morning. We start our show with celebrations. Bob, what are you celebrating today?
We want to get ourselves in the right frame of mind. We want to take stock of the things we've accomplished, support our actions, encourage more actions by recognizing actions we take. So I want to celebrate a really nice post on the GoSolo.com website about the Renegade Way and the work that we're doing, Tom. It really is nice. It's short, but it's clear. They didn't change a word of my marvelous writing, so I like that. And I think you're putting the link in right now so people can go see it.
I am indeed.
There you go. GoSolo.com, which is a forum for entrepreneurs and people in business. And for some reason, they found me and asked me to write something. And I wrote something about our whole renegade approach to business. And it came out really nice. There's even a pretty picture of me.
Wow. Is there not a pretty picture of you? Do you take a bad picture? Or not bad. It's wrong.
There's a photographer that did some work with me about 8 or 9 years ago that would tell you I take many bad pictures.
You just take a lot of pictures. Bad sounds like a judgment.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And Tom, what are you celebrating today?
So I'm celebrating. I think I shared throughout the week that I had a couple of presentations or facilitations that I was doing this week. And I had 2 of them yesterday. One that I was particularly uncertain about. There were some there was the way it was set up was that there were some challenges with the group and some maybe friction among the group and the staff and just some things that were going on that I thought going in might lead to a very challenging facilitation. And sometimes when that happens, I went in there thinking and sort of the thought that this group wouldn't really like training, which is kind of the way it was described. And what's interesting is that I thought it went very well. And people participated. People stayed engaged for 3 hours. I mean, it was a serious discussion. Not serious, but it was just a significant amount of time. We ended up having to do it in a hybrid manner because 2 people couldn't make it in person. So we had 2 people virtually, which is different. And when I found that out a couple of days ago, that was a little bit of a challenge thrown my way. And ultimately it was fine. I think it was, people were appreciative. People valued that it was an interactive training, not just me standing up there lecturing them on all the things that a board should or could or would do. And it was interesting because as I was finalizing it yesterday afternoon, more than finalizing it, as you probably can imagine, I was really putting the PowerPoint together yesterday afternoon. I was like, you know what would be interesting? Because I didn't know any of the people. And I knew we would do introductions. And so I asked them to, when they introduced themselves, to share what they were celebrating about that board. And I found it really fascinating as a way, and I think maybe it got them thinking differently about the experience and the group. And that possibly because of that, they were more engaged and connected because they actually had to stop and pause and think about what is something they're celebrating about the group. And so I think that was an interesting addition. And again, I think one of the reasons why, and I can't guarantee that that's the reason that I thought it went well. And I have a feeling that it played a role in it. So I am celebrating the successful completion of both things yesterday, and especially the one in last night.
Can I suggest another celebration? Because you tend not to think about these.
Sure.
And that is that you are always looking for new ways to engage people and always looking for opportunities. And the fact that you started with celebrations, I don't think that was on your plate a week ago. That was a late minute decision, and you went with your gut, and it sounds like it paid off.
I think so. I think they were surprised. I don't think that was the expectation. And one of the things I did when I first got there, because it's a board that meets in the same room all the time, I sort of was like, I was going to stand at what would be the front of the room where usually like the president, whoever sits, and it didn't feel real. So I went to the other end. And when people came in, I encouraged them to take different seats. Because as I walked in and I was talking with the staff person who was helping me out, I said they probably all have their spot, right? You know, like if you ever watched Big Bang Theory, Sheldon had his spot.
Yep.
And I think that when you're in a board, you kind of get in that habit of always taking the same seat. And almost like, oh, I can't sit there because Susie sits there and I don't want to mess things up. So I intentionally asked them to sit in a different seat so they might get a different perspective. And I think by flipping the room, it maybe, again, might have been one of those things that helped it. And honestly, the celebration thing, the event started at 6, and I think I had that idea at about 3:45.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's pretty good for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You know, when I was teaching college, I would routinely walk to class and change my whole lesson plan. I'd have a brainstorm and be like, I'm going to try it this way, and literally wing it. And I had a teaching assistant a couple of semesters, a graduate student, and they'd be walking across the campus with me to go to class. And they, you know, we've mapped it out. We've got all, this is what's going to happen. And I'd be like, hey, this is going to probably throw you, but remember that plan we came up with? Throw that away. We're going to do it this way. And they would always come up to me afterwards. How are you able to do that? And it's because you're innovating as you go.
Sure.
And I think it's something that a lot of people have the capability to do, but they don't trust their gut. And I think for me, it's really trusting your gut and going, you know what? I've thought through this. This is, I like your phrasing that you've really brought to what we do at the Renegade stuff. This is what's real for me in this moment. May not be what's real in a week, may not be what's real in a month. And sometimes what's real for us is as we get up to that deadline of having to actually execute something, that's when it gets really real.
Really real?
Really real.
Yes. Like extra real, or is it super extra real, or what's really real?
It's better than real to real. That's different.
Different than that. There's no doubt. All right, everyone.
We should talk about our discoveries of the week.
Yeah.
May I begin?
Of course. Working together. Okay. Your discoveries.
Working together. So I really, I went back, I watched and listened to our Tuesday episode now twice, because it really jumped out at me that you and I, it's rare that you and I see things so differently. And that's not bad. I'm not judging it. It's just, I came at it from if we work as a team, if we work together, then we position people in their best positions to do the things that they're best at. And that derives the best results. Okay. That's one way of looking at it. Totally. I get that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think where you talked about it was, and this really was not a shift for me, but it was really codified in my mind that there are two aspects of this. And the second aspect is that when we work as a team, we have this broader set of perspectives that we can leverage to figure out how to move forward and how to take that next step. And I saw those two things, I think, before Tuesday. I saw them as very independent of each other. And now I think it's some of each fits in to some of the teams that work most effectively. What do you think about all that?
I like it. I mean, I think that, and honestly, that thought came to my head about 5 minutes before we started the show. Of that chat, and again, I think of all this because I knew we were going to have a conversation, and I was like, what is maybe a different way to look at this, a different perspective? And I think part of that is It's interesting. This came up last night as well. One of the things that the group wanted to work on was communication and how they could be more effective communicating. And one of the participants shared that it would have to start with that when they walked into this, they thought the communication was more of an organizational issue. And that throughout the conversation, they started to wonder if maybe they didn't need to look at how they were communicating first to see if maybe that was some of the challenges that were being created. And it was interesting. One of the other members sort of challenged it a little bit, just said, well, we're trying to keep this as a group, and what are we as a group trying to do? And someone else said, well, until I do it first, it's really hard for me to work with anyone else. If I'm not open, if I'm not thinking about, how am I communicating? Not only, and as we've discussed in the past, and if you want to go back, you can watch the communication. The communication is a two-way street. It's not just what we say, it's also how we listen. And that if I'm really going to be a more effective communicator, I need to start with myself before I start looking at others. And I think that's sort of, it's not exactly the same. Although what I was thinking about is that we start with what are our strengths when we're working together. And then for us to truly work together, so that makes some sense, right? Of course, leaders come in and say, okay, well, who has knowledge, skill, or perspective around a certain area? Start with that. And then I think that where we really work together is when we allow others to share, and we are open to that sharing. That will probably have an impact. Well, I want to say significant, have an impact on what's real for us. And that willingness to not just say, oh yeah, I'm the expert, I'm going to run with it. To say, while I know a lot about this, I also have lots that I could learn from others. And sometimes others who have very little knowledge, experience, or perspective around what we're doing, except for whatever it is they have. And I think it was Tuesday, or maybe it was Monday, when I said that, that working together is a phrase as much as it is two words. Yes, you can work, but to really work together, you have to be willing to open yourself up to other thoughts and ideas. And not that has to have a significant impact. It might just have a minor impact and it has an impact. And I think being open to that was one of the things that I thought about this week.
I like that. I think there's also a component of this where, if you model the behavior you want the team to act as, it makes it easier. I've worked on teams where it's like, well, everyone's going to do this. We're going to be on time for every meeting. But invariably, the leader was 5 minutes late for every meeting. And it'd be like, okay, no, we're not. And it lags to 5 minutes, then it's 10 minutes. And then there were other meetings where it'd be like, hey, everyone's going to have the report in by Friday. Yeah, no one got the report in by Friday. And I think modeling that behavior can be part of where you show respect to the team members. And I think communication is the other area where you show respect, because I think we didn't use the word respect much this week. But ultimately, I think the most effective teams have a shared appreciation, respect for each other around everything they do. I work on a team with a couple of people at a leadership level, and I totally dropped the ball on something over the last week and a half. And it really put one of the people at a huge disadvantage. And it was just totally my fault, messed up, didn't communicate well, not real effective. And it raised some questions about my commitment. It raised some questions about, where was I with things, because it was really an important thing. And we have to recognize with that team that we've got to bring our best to the game so that we can help other people bring their best to the game.
Yeah, I like that. It's interesting. The other thing that came to me a little bit yesterday, and it was when you mentioned fraternities. So if you didn't listen to yesterday's or watch yesterday's episode, you might want to go back and watch it. We were talking about what's possible. I think that was yesterday.
Yeah.
And Bob mentioned something about groups being almost like a fraternity. And I think that maybe my true discovery of the week is that working together has significant value.
Mhm.
And sometimes working together, if you're not truly open to new ideas and thoughts and allowing new people in, can be a detriment to moving forward. Because you've become too comfortable with the people around you and the way that they work and the way that they think and the way that they act. And you have a pretty good grasp on their knowledge, experience, and perspective. And you get comfortable with that.
Or
And
uncomfortable, right? It could be the other extreme. I
Correct.
really don't
Correct.
like this committee I'm on. That I don't agree with their philosophy. I don't agree with their approach. I don't agree with what we've decided as a group to do. I've lost every vote for 3 months, right? So it could be comfort or discomfort.
certainly. And I think that, again, the longer you work together, there's more familiarity. And that familiarity, as you say, could either be we all think the same, or the more I get to know this person, the more I think we don't think the same at all. And I think that is a risk that you run when working together, is you get to know a whole lot about people, and that can add value, and the value is going to be potentially different.
I like that. This has been a good week. Can I tease what next week's going to be?
Of course.
Next week, we're going to talk about building a team. So we've talked about independence. We've talked about being dependent or dependence. We talked about working together. And the next thing on our chain is building a team. So if you're trying to build a team, whether you're leading an organization, whether you're leading a committee, whether you're a manager, a leader, or you're just a solopreneur out there and you're trying to build your team of resources around you, we're going to have some thoughts and ideas around that next week.
And I would also say that it's really good for those people who are members of a team.
Yes.
Not that I know what we're going to talk about, because I had forgotten what the topic was. I knew it.
Whoa.
Remembered.
Wow. That never happens, folks.
Well,
it's a full moon.
We're not in the week, so I'm
okay.
I'm a little distracted for some other things. And I think that one of the things that's really valuable for team members is to understand how teams are put together and maybe why. And hopefully we'll share, not hopefully, I believe we'll share, I know we will share our value next week that may help you. So you might want to tune in next week when we talk about building a team. All right. Well, if you have thoughts or ideas or your discoveries of the week you want to share, someone, and I didn't get a chance to find it, said, keep up the good work. Appreciate that.
Like it. Thank you.
Please feel free to share it in the comments, or again, go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, and you can share your thoughts and ideas inside of there, where we have people who are trying to figure out their next step. And I think one of the things
they're not trying; they're figuring it out, Tom.
Well, I think that they are, yes, and
because they're taking a step.
Correct. Although I think many times people go in there, and they're willing to go in there because they are uncertain. Because we all are uncertain at some time. About when I was putting that presentation together, I was uncertain for a number of days until I finally was able to sort of put it all together. And so I think the people in that group are always trying to find their next step along their own unique pathway to success. And the value that you share may be exactly what someone needs to help them take that step. So we look forward to seeing you inside our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we'll see you Monday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, for our next episode of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, have a great weekend and embrace the renegading you. I'm telling you, it's going to pay off hugely.
And go read your article?
Yeah, you can go read the article. Sure. GoSolo.com. Tom put the link in.
Excellent. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Go out and make it an amazing day. We'll see you soon. Oh, I lost my brand. Got to find the closing. Oh, there it is.
Uh-oh.
Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group.
For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.